Welcome back to Justice. My next guest was the target of repeated accusations this week in the Senate impeachment trial against the president. Take a look at House Manager Jerry Nadler and what he had to say about the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
As President Zelensky was taking power, Mr. Giuliani was already engaged in an effort to convince Ukrainian officials to announce two sham investigations. The first was an effort to smear former Vice President Joe Biden. The second was designed to undermine the intelligence community's unanimous assessment that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
Joining me now is the man on the other side of that attack, former New York City mayor and attorney for the president, Rudy Giuliani. Okay, Rudy, you heard Nadler. He's a longtime New York congressman. You know him well from New York, from your New York days.
Yeah, longtime hack.
He claims you wanted Ukraine to announce the investigation. Hack. Talk to me. And he says it personally benefited you.
I wanted them to investigate. Yeah, I wanted them to investigate it because it would help to exculpate my client. It had nothing to do with dig up dirt on Biden. It was handed to me in November of 2018. The Biden family pulls somewhere between $8 and $20 million out of Ukraine, totally corruptly. Biden was involved in two massive bribes. Zlochevsky bribed him. He bribed Poroshenko. He disgraced the United States of America. And Nadler should be ashamed for covering up for him. He also did the same thing, by the way, Biden did in Iraq, where he was point man, and his brother got a piece of a $1.5 billion housing project. And he did the same thing in China when he was point man, and the kid got a $1.5 billion investment from China in a hedge fund for himself, Kerry's kid, and Whitey Bulger's nephew. Biden is so dirty that you and I would have had him indicted 6 months ago, and Nadler is doing what a hack Democrat usually does. He's covering up for a crook. I don't care if he was vice president. I don't care if he's running for president of the United States. I'll say it straight out. Joe Biden is a crook, and he sold out the United States of America in Iraq, in Ukraine, in China. And if we can't prosecute him, we do not have justice in America.
Okay, well, now there is a sound where he says, with Ambassador Yovanovitch out of the way, the first chapter of the Ukraine scheme is complete. Giuliani and his agents could now apply direct pressure to Ukraine government to spread the falsehood. And who benefited? Who sent Mr. Giuliani in the first place? And then he does the old, what did the president know? When did he know?
Oh, come on, he's a big jack. Come on, all you got to do is look at him and listen to him. He's a big jackass. And he's a hack politician who repeats whatever Democratic line there is, and half the time he's lying his head off. The fact is he's covering up a massive scandal at the highest levels of the United States government and the Ukrainian government. The vice president of the United States
seems to be getting away with it.
Corrupted the president of the Ukraine, well, because he's got all the media on his side. They don't want to deal with the fact, I'll say it one more time, Joe Biden has been a big crook for most of his career. Every time Joe Biden was a point man, you know what happened? The Biden family made millions.
Okay,
and America
but we need to have the evidence.
Out.
And do you have the evidence of that?
I got the evidence. I've been showing them the evidence for months. I have the evidence. I've got the witnesses.
Can we see the evidence?
Our
Rudy,
embassy,
can we see it?
I put out the evidence in April. I put it out in March. It was ignored. You saw it on television, on Fox. You saw Shulkin testify. It was just on OAN. It gets censored. You don't want to look at the evidence. It's out there. There are people on television saying,
I'd love for you to send it to me, and I'm going to lay it out.
Go look at the OAN, and then watch my podcast. Next Tuesday and next Friday, I'm going to have Shulkin on.
Okay.
And he will directly testify about the bribe, and he will also directly testify that they attempted to kill him. And I have the records from the Austrian hospital that showed they attempted to murder him. This is very dangerous.
All that, and we'll talk about that again.
These people are despicable.
Ask you one more question.
What they are doing is despicable.
Okay, I want to turn your attention to the new video that was released by Les Parnas' attorney. The attorney says it shows President Trump at an April 2018 dinner with Parnas and others, where the president is directly ordering the fire of then U.S. Ambassador Yovanovitch. You know the president and Lev Parnas, and you've seen the tape, I assume. Of course, the president has the right to get rid of any ambassador. Okay, but the question is, many are asking, is that the president said in the past he didn't know who Parnas was. You know both of them. Can you shed light on any of this stuff?
Sure. I didn't know Parnas at the time of that tape. That's before I met him, and I wasn't at that dinner. But I can tell you simply, the president goes to dinner with about 1,000 people. Lev may not be the most memorable person that you will meet. And the reason the president said it is he was told by the people at the dinner that the ambassador was going around saying that you shouldn't pay attention to President Trump because he's going to get impeached. They leave that out of the tape because they are despicable liars. And the press, of course, doesn't bother to ask them, hey, play the whole tape because we're honest and fair.
In 2018, before the impeachment started, Yovanovitch predicted the president would be impeached?
Let me tell you about Yovanovitch. Yovanovitch was a Hillary Clinton for president partisan. She ran her office as a Hillary Clinton campaign office. She helped to gather dirt on Manafort, Trump, and Trump Jr., and she tried to fix 4 cases, and I have that under oath, and I have that on tape, including to try to help George Soros' company. She is crooked.
Okay, Rudy Giuliani, I'm going to get this information from you, and I'm going to have you back. I'm going to have you back, Rudy.
You have
Thanks
the
for
information
being with us tonight.
But I'll give it to you again on my podcast. Everybody covers it up.
Okay, I won't. Rudy Giuliani, thanks so much.